Hey everyone, Loken, Rolly, and I are back to talk about the latest chapter of My Hero Academia. Join the discussion by leaving a comment and let us know what your take would be. Spoiler warning, this video will cover chapter 314 of My Hero Academia. If you enjoy these videos, please help support the channel by leaving a like and subscribing to Texas Smash. Hit the bell icon and turn on all notifications so that you can be sure to catch us every time a new chapter is released. Let's nerd out together. Join us every Friday on the Texas Smash Discord server. Find the link in the description and you too can become a part of the audience. 314 picks up right where 313 left off, when Deku grabbed Lady Nagant in the air. Nagant gets Deku off of her pretty easily. This is the end result the third user had warned Deku about in the previous chapter, when he told Deku he wasn't ready to be using that quirk. Because Deku ignored this warning, his parallel processes, meaning when Deku is using multiple quirks at the same time, became all messed up. Deku asks Lady Nagant why she is doing what she is doing on his fall downwards. "Didn't you used to be a hero?" he says. Nagant uses her bullet microphone to enlighten Deku as to her backstory while she fires an endless barrage of bullets towards him. She explains how the Public Safety Commission used to have her kill off suspected future threats to society. In some cases, Nagant would kill the target before any incriminating evidence was obtained. One day, some children came to meet the pro-hero Lady Nagant, but when Lady Nagant outstretched her hand, all she could see was the blood of her victims. Ashamed, Lady Nagant pulled her hand back, feeling unworthy of the children's admiration. Nagant tries to explain how she is feeling to the head of the Public Safety Commission, but once the chairman felt as if Nagant was implying that she would be leaving the commission, the chairman reached into his shirt as if to pull out a gun and kill Nagant. However, Nagant beat the chairman to the punch. A shooting contest with Lady Nagant may have not been the best idea the chairman ever had. Deku comments how this version of the story is something different than what he was told. Nagant concludes her story by saying that the future Deku wants is a future that is doomed to repeat itself. Just then, Deku fires a fifth one-point strike attack at Nagant. In his assault, Deku explains how he has come to understand the shades of gray in society. In order to give Deku's ever-projecting mind more to process, and also to put Deku's latest proclamation to the test, Lady Nagant turns the barrel of her gun toward Overhaul, as if to see if Deku was willing to save someone like him. Deku had not known of Overhaul's presence prior to this point in the battle, and the chapter ends with this realization and the teaser for next week. An old rival appears. Overhaul? The battle is heating up.
So she was able to easily shake off Deku's supercharged attack that happened right at the beginning.
Yeah, Deku should have listened to the third holder's advice, it seems like.
Yeah.
Well, listen to Hawk's advice and just run, really. But she definitely, her skills are definitely getting showcased, and she's good. She's living up to her reputation because he's pulling out all the stops. Deku is. We've never even seen these quirks, and he's not only pulling out new ones, but then integrating them, trying to do everything he can. And I like the fact that, even she realized it, that he was calculating her moves, doing a bunch of stuff, trying to get her. And so it's just awesome to see the development of Deku himself and his growth in only a month, from being able to not only develop these quirks, but then be able to integrate them and using them and analyze a crazy strong villain and be able to contest with her, all in the midst of a crazy battle.
Yeah, I think that really speaks towards a bunch of positives when it comes to Deku's time being quirkless. His main thing was always analyzing everybody's quirks. What could be the weaknesses? What can, what's the strengths, the things you need to watch out for. And all of that, luckily carried over with him once he got his quirk and had to start, implementing all of that. All of that he did makes him, a great hero. And I like that they kept that continuation of him constantly analyzing everything.
Yep.
A lot of people say that is very similar to a certain villain that wears a black suit, the way that they think about things. But yeah, I don't want to touch on this too heavy because I think there's a panel later that we're going to get to. But part of Deku getting shaken off so easy, we find out, was because of the multiple quirk usage. So it finally caught up. That's why I was saying he should have listened to the third user, because the third user was the one saying, "Hey, you're not ready for this." But yeah, Hawks is the one that told him not to even go after her to begin with. You're right. But it
Yeah.
seems like Deku got shaken off because he used that third quirk and he shouldn't have.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. He should have listened to the third user, but I think that the warning that he got from Hawks, it probably wouldn't have worked anyways. I think this fight would have been
Yeah,
inevitable. She would have caught up to him.
True.
I agree with that.
Yep, same. I think in Kronos, the panel you're talking about isn't too far down in the chapter where Deku is falling, and then it kind of just shows the third user, and he's like, "Damn it!" Right as I had finally caught her, it's just as the third warned me, my parallel process are all messed up. So
Oh, right. Yeah, it's still in the same part. Fair game.
yes, yeah. So good call out there. And now so when he's using multiple quirks, I guess he's just calling it his parallel process. Like, okay.
Yeah,
That's what I assumed.
Yeah.
using multiple at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
which makes a lot of sense, but I'll wait for this part for the second half for sure. Because when Deku attacks Nagant later, I got a theory to talk about once we get to that part. But I'll say no more.
Yeah, for me, that during this whole fighting scene, that's about all I had when I was looking at it. I don't. Do y'all have anything else? At least the fighting, or you want to jump to the flashback?
We can jump
Backstory.
to the flashbacks. They're right up next.
Yeah, cool.
Horikoshi giving us that full body shot of Nagant.
Looks good. Looks good.
It's just that is an intense panel, though. You've got all those, vigilantes or villains, and then right at her feet, all these dead people and blood. She's definitely killed a lot of people, and this is what I was hoping we would get, is the reason behind her churning a villain, as they put it. But as we find out, the hero commission was telling her to go out there and kill these people, whether they were villains or terrorists. There's even a panel where, they were, a villain was saying, "Wait, we haven't even done anything yet." So, and then boom, kills them, which just, I can see how that can mess with you and mess you up. You're just a blind dog going after getting all these orders without any reason and just murdering. You're an assassin. She's a hired assassin in the name of justice, and it eventually wears down on her and breaks her down. And so I feel for her. I really do.
Yeah, I do agree with that. There is something to the entire argument concerning all of it, but I can definitely see how it just broke her completely down. When it comes to having to do, the dirty jobs for the sake of, the general population, you have to be probably borderline, sociopathic or psychopathic, whichever
Mhm.
one, to be able to take out any of the nitty gritty stuff you have to do and be able to just brush it off like it's nothing.
Right.
Not everybody is built for that. And it's clear that she wasn't. And it took a definite toll on her.
Feel like at the end of the day, her core, she wanted to be a hero. She wanted to be a good person, and they twisted her. And it's even sad to see the panel where she's going to shake some of her fans, these little kids, shake their hand, and all she sees is blood all over her hand. And
Yeah, the saddest one, which it's not deterring too far off, but it's a little bit further down. Whenever you see the excitement that she had whenever she was younger, it seemed like she's getting recruited to where she is now. Just makes it sad.
yep. Who's worse? Is the Hero Society, or is One for All for One? Sorry.
I still say all for one.
Yeah, all for one.
I mean, no, he is, but I'm just, like,
Yeah,
dang, they're still messed up.
yeah, the entire way that the society works, definitely needs revamping, as it has shown throughout multiple chapters. The fact that she has gone so far left in her thoughts, like, I understand how she got there, but there's gone so far left to where she's like, "Oh, I'm perfectly okay with world domination," is just, like I said, just the fact that she's gone that far with how deep she's got into the problems in this society.
I feel like if someone is pushed that far and then they break and they reject what was holding them or motivating them, then there's going to be a void there. And now that's what All for One does do. He looks for people with,
Yep.
a void, whether he creates it or not. He tries to fill some void in people, and that darkness then is put in place and starts to grow. And she already was messed up. So I'm sure she thought, to me, she just saw, hey, at least he's being honest on what his goals are. Like,
Mm-hmm.
as far as again, I feel like as far as she knows, that's like all she thinks is that he's gonna want to take over the world to make it a better place. But that's not really what he's gonna be doing.
At all.
Yeah,
It's gonna be madness out there. I guess
Yep.
she thinks it's confusing now. I
Mhm.
don't know if you would want it underneath All for One.
Right.
Yeah, you beat me
At
to it,
all.
Logan. I was about to. Yeah, All for One. He capitalizes on people's misfortunes. So
Mhm.
this girl is the perfect. I mean, if you try to put yourself in her shoes as best you can, you don't really have anywhere to go. Public Safety Commission, obviously, you can't go there even if you wanted to. The heroes all see you as a traitor. I mean, who else? All for One extends his hand. No one else is,
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what he does. So, yep, good point, Logan. So good that I wanted
Yeah.
to say it and you said it before me.
Uh, The one thing I'm curious about, which we were just talking about, me and Danny Boy, about the final panel, like the final straw of Lady Nagant. She finally she doesn't look as old as she does now. And like you said, Rolly, she doesn't look, as young as when she first joined. So I think she's finally maturing enough to where she's wanting to quit what she's doing. She's starting to ask some questions and meeting with the chairman. And all we do see is the chairman putting his hand in his jacket and then her pointing the gun. And then that's where we're going to break it. But, there's nothing else after that. So I really, in My Hero, it just seems like until you see it, it's not for sure. So I am curious still what y'all think on if he did have a gun, one, and then two, if she did kill him.
It strongly alludes that she killed him. Even whenever Deku has said you murdered the public safety chairman at that time, that's not how it was reported. And she was like, "That's right." So it alludes to it, but I do agree with waiting definitively, but it's strongly suggested. It's strongly
Okay.
suggesting that she killed him.
Yeah.
Look, and this will surprise you after the genist thing, because I'm always standing by that.
Yeah.
If you didn't see it, it didn't happen. The only thing though with this, I'm gonna go against my own logic because that makes sense to conclude her backstory. It wasn't all the people that they may or may not have had evidence for that she killed, that she should have been punished for. The one that got her was the really bad person that she actually did kill, which was the chairman.
Chairman.
That's what landed her in Tartarus. And also on top of that, we don't see this dude ever, but we see which I meant to point out before we move past it, the panel where it says they will only show you the bright side, and you see the guy that Nagant ends up killing and then the girl behind him. That
Mhm.
girl is the chairman that we know today. So
Right.
just further in my mind, it just makes me think that dude's out of the picture. So I think he's dead.
Yeah.
And I think she killed him.
Yeah, because she did not deny it. She said that's right. Even then, public safety insisted on protecting their false image. They would never tell you about the internal disputes or rebellions that occurred. Just after she did it, they covered up the story that it was, essentially a hero that did it, just to keep on with the false peace.
Which is probably where Hawks got his intel from.
Yeah.
That side of the story. Yeah. So we both say he did. What do you say, Locan?
I don't think he is.
Ooh.
Oh.
I don't think he is, and I don't think she did kill him. I think he's about to pull out some like secret long con plan. Like, and I know back, a few reviews ago, I was like kidding around about maybe she was placed in there, like she's undercover this whole time. And this did make my mind immediately jumped to what if he's not pulling out a gun? What if he's, hey, like, yeah, all of this was messed up, but look, we know XYZ is about to happen. And it was all to avoid this horrible event, all for one. And now we actually need you to go into prison. But then it's like, well, why is she fighting with Deku? I don't know. Like,
Why did she take the quirk? It's a lot that she did after that.
right. So I don't know. It would still just be crazy if he's not dead. She didn't kill him. this was all planned, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But
Interesting.
You go out there on that limb, Locan.
always, you know.
But hey, if you wanna, you got that timestamp written down. If you want to shout out your, since we're talking about predictions, do you want to give yourself credit for your take on Nagant?
That was the other thing I was like, I knew that there had to have been something to like reject her. Like there was the hero commission that pushed her to do it, and that they were doing something wrong. I wasn't like, exactly spot on, but I was pretty close to getting that, and that was on the chapter 312 review at 16 minutes and 12 seconds. Re-listened to that, and I was like, all right, cool. I did theorize that one pretty good. I called it.
Moving into fight, or are we good on backstory, or
Just the final thing that she says, and Rolla, you brought it up. It is just seeing the difference between when she first joined, you know, the Hero Society and the commission and everything. But then now you see her, and her just even a future where All for One has complete control would be far clearer than what we have now. That's that there we go. There's her reason as to why she's following All for One. But again, as we know, All for One does not he's not clear about anything. It'll be interesting to see once she finally realizes even he is just as bad as the Hero Society, what she does.
Yeah.
That's all I got for that. On to the back to the fight scene, the final, getting it.
Can't wait to see this entire thing animated.
so to tie back into the first half, that panel where I was saying it's the third user that warned him.
Mhm.
This is the panel I was talking about. So once we actually get out of the backstory, back to the fight, Deku says fifth, which implies Black Whip, but then 1 point strike. So it looks like Black Whip, right? But remember, a description for the third quirk was Force Exert, release internal power, I believe. So my guess right now is that the third quirk is a way to amplify other quirks. Like he's amplifying Black Whip right here with the third user's quirk. That's why going back to the first half of the chapter, when the third user said, you know, gave him that warning and Deku was recalling that, I think that's what you see happening here is the combined usage of 3 and 5. Because Black Whip, it don't stick to things. If you look, it sticks to that building behind it, Gaunt.
Mm-hmm.
And then that also explains how he zips right up to her real fast because he's pulling on it like a grappling hook.
Right.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. Yeah.
I get that, and that would be interesting. I think it is a possibility as well that, you know, with the quirks being developed and him getting more and more better control and them just being in one for all, amplifying them in that manner, he's just able to. But that would be cool if he is able to like gain up that energy and then just like punch it out. And this was actually this panel was the one I was at the beginning talking about too, where Lady Nagant says, "This kid, he's analyzed the pattern of my trajectory," and she's even like, "He's fast," so it's cool.
Yeah.
Again, just to see how he's developed and whatnot.
And I really like how rock solid his belief and his thoughts are. So even after she told her pretty much this her entire story, and he comes to a conclusion, you know, it isn't just black and white. The world is awash with shades of gray. Anxiety and anger are all jumbled up. That's exactly why we have to extend a helping hand. He is not going to ever let go of that belief. And
Yeah.
I really do like that.
Mm-hmm.
You notice how in the example, all the examples make sense, and then the panel after that, you see Tamora. So
Yeah.
little foreshadowing there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you see Endeavor. My phone just died, but I remember Endeavor, and then that mutant girl that kind of got ambushed a few chapters back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just all the people that society's kind of, because of the way society is, you know, they've been in one way or another prosecuted.
Yeah.
And then you see Tamora, persecuted, prosecuted, yeah, perpetrated. Prediction. I don't know.
No.
And I think just really what he said really just speaks to it's like too many people, you know, in this manga, even in real life, to where they see life and everything that happens and just in shades of black and white, not realizing that there is an entire gray area that has to be accounted for. And if you go through your entire life thinking only the black and the white is the only thing that goes on, like with this is heroes versus villains, but we saw that entire gray area that goes on with the Public Safety Commission to where they exist in this entire world of gray, to where they're not exactly heroes, but they're not exactly villains either.
Mm-hmm.
And I just really liked that line that he had. And you can kind of tell those who exist in, just the black and white portion, like Nagant did, to where it just seemed like for her, it was just black and white. That gray area was just completely, which given, all that she had went through makes sense. But then even whenever you have Stain, for example, everything is black and white. There's no existence of grays. You're not going to have, all of the heroes are not going to be top tier like All Might. But,
Right.
the ones that don't reach that height of that level doesn't mean that they're bad. I just really like that line.
I like that breakdown too. That's good. It is, to me, going along with you. It's like either you're perfect or not, pretty much. Like you need to fit this image or my mindset, like you said with Stain. You have to be the perfect hero, but it's not everyone can live up to that.
Yeah.
Some people are going to fall short. And so I just like the whole parallel between Deku and All for One as well. Like we were talking about earlier, when he finds someone with a void, what does he do? He reaches his hand out over and over to Tamora and so many other people, but to manipulate them and use them. While here we have Deku at the end of the chapter telling her that's exactly why we have to extend a helping hand. Like he's
Yeah.
like the polar opposite, like in a good way. Like he's gonna keep on extending his hand and try to save people and be that example to be good while even understanding, yeah, there's gray areas. That's why, us who see it have got to be the ones to be reaching our hands out and try to help them.
Right.
Man, Deku. It's awesome. And then Nagant just comes back. A mindset born from being raised in falsity.
Yeah, he's gonna have to break through that entire thing with her. The world is not black and white. I just keep thinking about Mount Lady. She exists in that part of gray. Like, yeah, she is vain, opportunistic, just a whole bunch of terrible qualities that you really wouldn't want to have in a hero, but she's always there fighting.
Yeah. Same with Endeavor.
Yeah, you could go on and on.
Right.
Endeavor and Stain, I would say, are the two biggest. Stain as a character, I would say, is part of the gray world in Deku's mind. But Stain's philosophy is very black and white.
Yes.
Right.
Stain's bad, but he has, despite how radical they are,
He has good intentions.
right, which is not the same as, say, Tamora or All for One. Very different type of villain. Even Chisaki, like he wanted to fix the world because he truly believed that quirks were the end of humanity. So what he was doing was right in his mind. He wasn't evil for the sake of evil. So Horikoshi does it with damn near every character.
Yeah.
Which is cool. That's why he's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
So speaking of Overhaul, I feel like if he's gonna have his quirk awaken, it's coming soon. Because now the thing he wants most of all is just to see the boss, right?
Yeah.
If that gets put in jeopardy, if his quirk is going to awaken, I feel like it's going to be in the next 2 to 3 chapters.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. At some point, he's going to get impatient, as he's already showing that he is, and he's just going to probably just rip down that in multiple blocks.
So do you see Deku and Nagant teaming up against Overhaul, or do you perhaps maybe see Deku and Overhaul teaming up against Nagant?
I can see Overhaul just messing up the entire battle, giving Deku probably time to get away. That's my thought on it.
How would because basically Nagant is daring Deku to save Chisaki. So say Deku does, how does Chisaki react?
I don't think he'd probably be very fond of it, but then again,
Of getting saved? Like if Deku saved him?
I'm just thinking about their last interaction.
Yeah.
From that is where I'm mostly basing my thought process on. Try to kill him the last time he saw him.
Yeah, but this time he's clearly broken. There's a battle going on, and all he cares about is like, hurry up, I want to get back to the boss. So I think he's kind of like delusional, a little insane at the moment. I feel like it is crazy. She's going to just shoot him, and I think he will. If he's always trying to save people, she knows that he's definitely going to go and try and save her, and that is where in that action, even though she's setting him up to do it, she sees him doing it and is like, man, this kid really is a true hero.
He's the opposite of Public Safety Commission would tell me to kill this guy.
Like,
on the
let him
spot.
die. Right.
It's kind of a recreation of, and whenever Nana asked Deku if he would try to kill her, like what if Deku felt like he couldn't save Tamora? This kind of put into practice,
Right.
but for real this time.
Deku's getting tested all the time, and he's the one who always overcomes those tests. And that again and again, it's even with his words, it's like he cracks the egg with his words, but then just explodes it with his actions. And that's when people finally open up their heart and see through his actions of how like pure and honest and good he is. They're like, well, maybe there is hope for good to be, back into the earth.
Yeah, that's just a dirty move she pulled.
Right.
So, does Deku save him? Yes or no?
Yes. Deku
Yes.
saves him. It's Deku.
Deku saves him, and then his quirk does awaken. The building starts to crumble. Like Rolly was like, they just everything starts getting crazy in the battlefield. And then either Lady Nagant does, either get away. Maybe she's the one who starts to run away, or Deku's able to get away, or that's when Hawks and Best Genius shows up, and either Nagant is like, oh, okay, well, I can't handle all these people, and she books it, but then they get Overhaul back, I guess. Consolation prize.
Yeah. Hopefully they just drop him off to the old man. Just watching him standing up there on the top with his arm, well, his sleeves just flapping. I just
Poor guy.
Yeah,
just somebody take him to the old man. It's just
Right.
I could see Deku and Nagant having kind of by force, but having to work together. Because what if Deku saves Overhaul and he just gets annoyed at being used for their games or whatever? He doesn't have any interest in that, so he gets pissed off. And what if they do need to work together to actually like control him? So that could create somewhat of a bond maybe between them. I don't know.
Mhm.
I have to wonder because is it gonna be through him saving Overhaul and then at the same time trying to protect him, trying to dodge her, and then of course a whole lot of fight talking. At that
Mhm.
point when she finally just, oh, being good ain't so bad. Like that whole thing.
In my mind, what I'm envisioning is what if, for whatever reason, Overhaul gets annoyed by all this, his quirk awakens, he goes berserk. So Deku's not saving Overhaul. Like, that's how it starts, but what if Deku's not saving Overhaul anymore? Like, Overhaul now is pissed off and is got his quirk through his feet now, and is just wrecking everything in front of him, forcing Nagant and Deku to have to team up and take him down. But then Nagant could kind of, through all this, see how Deku handles himself and what he intends to do with Overhaul, thereby winning her over. I don't know. I'm just reaching.
No, you just you put it in my head. All right, going along with you, all of that. But twist, Nagant is actually about to die. Like
And Deku
maybe a
saves her.
building is gonna fall on her, and Deku comes in and saves her.
I like
And
that.
she's like, "What? You saved me? Like, why? I'm trying to kidnap you." He's like, "No matter what, I have to save everyone." And she's
I like
like,
that.
Because I am here.
yeah, finally. And
Yeah.
then somehow, they get overhauled too, and or maybe he stops freaking out. He's like, "Oh no, what did I do?" and wakes up and is like, "Oh crap, like I got my quirk." And because I think he's gonna if his quirk awakens, he's not gonna intentionally, make the buildings like whatever happens, he's not gonna make it explode intentionally to me. I think it's just gonna awaken and it's gonna come out of him out of nowhere, and he's gonna not even realize that he was capable of doing it and just did it accidentally, and then that's what puts her in danger, and then Deku saves her, and so that's even more complicated and better than him having to save Overhaul. That would be cool.
Yeah.
That's a big bounce backer.
Yeah. That was,
And
thanks,
it
Kronos.
sounds so Deku. So yeah, I'm down for it.
I am waiting for I am here. I'm getting annoyed at this point.
It'll be funny if it doesn't happen until the very last page of the very last chapter. I am here.
That's how it is.
The end.
Probably.
The end.
You're probably right. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, that's all I got, y'all. Anything else?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Time for questions?
Question time.
Well, we already got a question. What's up, man?
Hey, how's your day going?
Good. How about you?
Yeah, it's going very great considering it's 2:45 in the morning. So
Ah,
Oh.
it's Friday, man.
that's amazing.
Party.
Yeah, I mean, But
What's up, man?
yeah, but the chapter. So first of all, again, Horikoshi really knows how to maintain his fan base. The panel with Lady Nagant, like her full body, that panel that had me simping very hard. So that was very favorable. Thank you very much, Horikoshi. But my question about the chapter. I mean, after the chapter, the circumstances is that can someone like Deku, who is basically a hope of light in the hero community now, because already, I mean, the hero community or hero society, as we know it, has been destroyed, and basically the foundation is just gone. So no one believes them anymore. So after hearing Lady Naga's story, do you think Deku's perception of saving people will change, or will it stay the same? And his view on the world and his actions, will they change? Yeah.
I think he's always had this perception, to be honest. It's just if he can find a shred of good in you, he's gonna save you. Kind of like Goku, honestly. I feel like he just is getting better at assessing someone and seeing if there's, like Nagant, honestly, I feel like she can be saved. Gamora, there's been numerous references to how Deku's gonna try to save him. So I feel like Deku's always been this way. What do you guys think?
Yeah, he pretty much has. I don't see his perception at all changing. But I do certainly see once society starts to rebuild, the way that he sees the world will make a definite impact.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it just like his skills with the quirks and everything getting sharpened, so does his perception, like the way he's able to put how he sees things into words, and then also get to people's motivations quicker and being able to, counteract those to try to again break into them and help them see the light, if you will, to come back to the good. So it's just again over time he's getting sharper and sharper and better at it is how I see it. But good question.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Yeah, that basically answered my question.
Cool. Now I
Yeah.
don't
Now,
think
Ooh, I think I
oh.
probably did too early. Sorry.
Well, just closing comment on that though. I do think that if Deku gets to the bottom of like this public safety commission, he gets the truth of that. I definitely think Deku would not stand for something like that, whereas other heroes might let something like that slide.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So yeah, I think the like if the commission does come back, this gonna have a complete and total overhaul.
Yeah. He can see good in bad people, but he can also see bad in good people.
Exactly.
Cool. Looks like Ruhan's got a question.
Okay. Hi.
What's up, man?
Nothing much. It's just like 3 a.m. I'm tired, and okay. So I just wanted to like counteract that point. Like I think the chairman is actually dead because if you see the panel after she points the gun at him, you see like a window with just some like it's not actually we can't actually see it's blood or not, but it feels like blood. So like he could actually be dead, and like Deku says that you killed the chairman. So yeah, that's one thing. And the other would be like, do you actually think that can Nagant actually go back to like Deku's side and be a hero or not?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Thanks for
Hmm.
pointing that out, Ruhan. I'll definitely look
It
at that
is
more.
it is possible because like Deku is like the motivational speaker of My Hero Academia.
So yeah, to your Nagat question, I would instantly say yes, absolutely. She can definitely come over to the good side. If it wasn't for her getting a quirk from All for One, it may not be her choice anymore. That's the biggest thing that makes me want to say that she's not going to end up being on the good side because of that, because she got a quirk from All for One.
But if she uses said quirk along with her own in the battle against him, maybe I just want to think that, she could make it back given what happened with her. That she was just essentially just broken down into almost a husk. Her being able to find clarity, which, I guess we all think that she's gonna end up finding it with Deku, that she could finally find her place again. I would hope.
For me, to a point, I agree with you, Kronos, on if you get a quirk that from All for One, you're now more likely to, be manipulated by him and be under his control. But I feel like at the end of the day, that is more of an influence and not a control. Like he can influence you, but he can't. He at the end, you will still have a choice at the end of the day. Otherwise, Tamora wouldn't be able to be saved. Like no one would be able to be saved once All for One gave him a quirk. So I think there is that window. It's a challenge and it's hard. But Deku, time and time again, like I said earlier, has shown he will overcome those things. So I definitely feel like he definitely will save Lady Nagant from All for One and the path that she's going down. That's who he is. Like you said, Rohan is a spokesperson for my hero, and I love that.
Yeah, you do still have free will.
Yes, I think so. To
Sure,
an
Kimo got free will.
extent.
Okay, yeah, that's worth it.
Thanks, man.
Good question, Ruhan. All right. So I guess just going off of my only thing though with Lady Nagant, so her story, everything about her screams she's gonna end up on the good side. And I know you hear my point, but give me an example. So Gentle, yeah. Even Stain, yeah. These are people that didn't get quirks from All for One. Is there anybody you can think of that got a quirk from All for One that isn't just messed up at this point in the story, at least? I do agree later down the road, once they figure out a way to reverse whatever he does to people, that it is possible to save these people, but I definitely think there's some sort of like control mechanism.
My
you know?
my main person is just the first user and holder of One for All.
Yeah, but that was early on. Maybe All for One wasn't at the level he's at now. You're talking like one of his first quirks he ever gave. Maybe you figured. Go ahead.
Sorry, the way I look at it is, I think I had made this comparison before. A cult. Like, yes, the cult can give you all of these things, and you may feel obligated to go along with it. But at the end of the day, you do have the free will to leave if you want. They may make it hard, but you do still have the free will to leave.
Yeah. I mean,
That was a great comparison last week too, and it made me laugh. I'm surprised I didn't laugh harder every time I hear it though. Yeah, that was funny. You drink until you drink the Kool-Aid. Like that was awesome.
This entire thing is just essentially like a cult. I'm going
Yes.
to show you the way that things need to be. I'm going to bestow this gift upon you. Now you have to go along with me and my ideas.
With that, you're brainwashed, right?
Essentially.
That type of stuff is you're brainwashed. So, until you do either see some messed up stuff that it shocks you, in your system and everything, that it wakes you up. You're like, oh, whoa, what is going on here? And you're like, no, this is crazy. So, right, like I feel like him giving the quirk could influence them and manipulate them into being more evil than what they normally would, especially if they do have either hate or something already inside them that does amplify that. But at the end of the day, I do feel that either the person themselves can overcome it, or Deku can be the one to come in there and like break that connection, if you will.
And then linking back to something you had said earlier, Kronos, that he goes out and purposely get these people who are downtrodden and confused and just wants to feel welcome where they don't feel welcome in the general society. It's kind of what cults do. They go for those who are lost and confused and bring them in, talk about, I'm here for you. I'm going to do all of this stuff for you.
Yep, and to build off of that, my phone is dead, but it's about, I don't know, 9 or 10 chapters back in Vigilantes. All for One literally is talking about that very thing, and he's like, it's a metaphor, but he's holding up a triangle just kind of to some words are hard, to symbolically show someone's life flipping upside down. And he says a quote that stuck with me because ever since he said this, I've always remembered it. He said, basically, I can turn anyone I want into a villain. So yeah, just more building on what you already said.
He's a cult leader.
Yes.
Which makes sense. I always like to talk about Shirakumo Kurogiri, though. I mean, I don't know if that's really applicable, though, because, I mean, I guess Shirakumo was dead, so
he was dead, and he was made into pretty much a Namu.
Yeah.
Right.
Which totally different. I get what you're saying, but
because he didn't have a hole in his life, per se, but yeah, I guess if you're going to nomify him, then you could do that to anybody.
Yeah.
Right. And then at that point, you don't even really have who you were. But even then, I mean, they're still trying to save him. So
yeah.
crazy.
Well, we do agree definitely we're all on board that there is something in the contract when you get a quirk
Right.
from All for One. It's not just gonna let Nagant be like, oh, you know what? I'm done with this guy. Like, it's not gonna be that easy for her.
Oh yeah, I can agree with that, but I do think, and I hope, I'll change that to I hope that she can overcome that obstacle.
Yeah, I could see her overcoming it. All right, yeah, thanks guys for jumping on.
Thanks, y'all.